So this is the first GDD I'm attending.
I'm coming from Egypt. We spent 24 hours to be here.
I knew many of my friends will be here.
The fact that I got to know so many people, so many mentors, network with so many people. Coming to the event, I actually get to meet them face to face, have that personal connect.
That's something that makes this thing up really worth it.
There's always something that you can incorporate, if not as a developer, but as a designer, you can still learn how to build communities of a certain interest.
Everybody is like-minded. Everybody wants to achieve something. This is a great opportunity. This place is very cool.
I attended few sessions from people who are legends in Google.
We learned so many things from them, that how to work in the community, how to develop in our field.
I was looking into some certification programs by Google, so I'll be going into that.
Loved the demo booths here. I know web development, but I haven't explored other domains like machine learning, TensorFlow and everything. And here I get to attend everything related to all the domains.
I'm a final year student at College of Engineering, Chenganur. I want to teach what I gained from here to my teammates and thus improve my project.
I also spent a few hours with Googlers like Ashish and Sarchit, and they all are really amazing guys. I love them all.
Something that I really like about this event is the gender ratio is pretty high for women. I see a lot of women participation, and that makes me really happy.
I'm proud to say I am a women entrepreneur.
And making sure that others are also encouraged to be a part of this, that's a huge deal.
Even the speakers, we are getting a female expertise in technology. It gives me so much happiness to be a part of women tech makers.
A developer in India is someone who is really keen on developing something good that will be used by millions of people around the world.
My contribution as a developer would be finding new drug for cancer patients.
Becoming an engineer, I can add a lot of value to many lives.
It's exciting. If you get to do what you want, it's always exciting and fun.
Amazing. Go GDD India!
See you next year. Bye-bye.
This is the first GDD ever in India, and this is the largest developer event that Google has held in India ever.
Been living, breathing, eating, sleeping Androids, and this is the first time the event is happening in Bangalore. So many of the people we have seen on online videos, we're seeing them in person here. That's a different kind of a feeling.
Our purpose of being here is to know what's next. Firebase, Kotlin, we know that is the future that's going to change things. So we want to make our developers equipped with those technologies. Programming is like math, where you need to practice a lot to gain the expertise.
There was a session that I attended in the morning which was about design. It was new to me, and that is how I can improvise my work. And also IoT, which I didn't know. So many things that you could do which you didn't know.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pankaj. I work in Google's office right here in Bangalore. I lead our engineering teams in India and Singapore for a very important initiative called Next Billion Users. I'm really excited to be here with you today at Google Developer Days because I'm myself a developer. I have used many Google APIs over the years. This is the first GDD ever in India, and this is the largest developer event that Google has held in India ever. But first, I want to talk to you about why and what Google is doing in India and in emerging markets all around the world. Today, Google has 7 products with more than 1 billion users each around the world. But we know that our next billion users will come from different parts of the world than our first billion. Our next billion users will not come from US or Canada or Germany. They will come from India, Indonesia, Brazil, Nigeria, and similar countries all around the world. That's why in India alone, we expect 650 million Indians to come online by 2020. That's why a couple of years back, we started the Next Billion Users initiative at Google, as we noticed that the future users of Google's products are going to be different than our current users. Perhaps the most important difference is that they're going to be mobile first, and in fact, largely mobile only. The smartphone is their first computer. It is the best camera they probably ever owned, and also probably their first video device that they ever carried around. Let's take a look at users in India, Indonesia, and Brazil, and compare them to the US. The users in these countries are incredibly young. I mean, just look around the attendees here. They're urbanizing fast, and they're aspirational, with disposable incomes growing rapidly. They're savvy. A large fraction of them have prepaid plans and multiple SIMs to get the best voice and data plans. They are unique. They have a strong sense of their own identity and culture that is different from the rest of the world. And yet, we at Google believe that they have the same fundamental needs. When they get online, they want to talk to friends. They want to be entertained. They want to understand the world around them. They want information to make their lives better. If you saw our search queries from Mumbai, they're not that different from search queries from New York City. If you look at search queries from Mumbai, you might find queries like, what time does this train leave? Where is the nearest doctor? When's the new movie with Deepika Padukone coming out? But right now, they face serious challenges to getting the information they need and having a good experience with the internet. They have low-spec phones, which are running usually a very old version of Android, and where storage is running out constantly. They have serious connectivity issues. Data can be slow and intermittent. It can sometimes take minutes to load a map, even more to buffer a video. And when they do manage to connect to the internet, they find that there is not much localized content. Let me give you an example. Wikipedia in Hindi, which by the way is now the fourth most spoken language in the world, has just 2% of the content of Wikipedia in English. So Google's approach to this is pretty simple. First, we want to ensure that everyone has access to internet. The rest is meaningless without a working internet connection. Second, we want to build platforms that enable developers like yourselves to build meaningful experiences for everyone. Third, we want to build products that are directly relevant to our next billion users. Let me start with access, which really is the foundation. In India, we have partnered with Tata Trusts and Railtel to provide Google Station, which is high-speed Wi-Fi in hundreds of train stations across India. It's the largest public Wi-Fi project in India, with millions of people now using this service. In addition to access, we also need to create awareness and educate people on how to use the internet. Our Internet Sathi initiative is now in 100,000 villages in 12 states across India. We have over 25,000 Internet Sathis. These are women who have been trained to help other women in the village learn about the internet and how it can be used to better their lives. These Sathis have trained over 12 million women over the past 2 years. And the impact that the internet is having on these women and their communities is truly incredible. Of course, Google cannot solve all the needs of everyone, everywhere by itself. So we want to make sure that we make strong platforms that allow everyone to contribute and grow with the internet. Because that ability to participate and contribute to the internet is key. It's what, in turn, makes the experience better for everyone. While we have lots more work to do, one thing we are proud of is our support of many languages in our key platforms. At the end of the day, Google is a products company. So we are working hard to try to make our products fast, relevant, and accessible in our users' own languages. Last year, we launched offline maps, which lets people save a map over Wi-Fi and then use the map just as they would if they were online. In 2013, we started letting people take videos offline on YouTube, launching first in India, as well as in Indonesia and Philippines. Now this feature is in more than 80 countries worldwide. So this is the cool thing. We have learned that when we tap into a user's insight, whether on how people connect or how they overcome constraints in any market, these insights tend to hold true globally, which allows us to make products better for everyone. In this case, I myself use Maps offline and YouTube offline all the time. And when the market needs it, we will build products that are made for India first. That's exactly what we did a little over 2 months ago when we launched Tez, a consumer payments and commerce mobile app that leverages UPI to build a brand new and refreshing payments experience to users all over India. Tez is made for India first. It is made to be as simple to use as cash and provides Google scale security to our users. It's been out a little bit over 2 months, and we have seen more than 10 million users, creating more than 74 million transactions. If you haven't checked it out, please do so today. Just yesterday, we launched another brand new product made for our next billion users first, called Datally. Datally is a mobile data savings app that helps people get the most out of their mobile data. Datally has 3 core features: understand your data, control your data, and save data by finding free Wi-Fi near you. Now, we are proud of what we have achieved so far, but we are also aware that there is a lot more work to do, and we are just getting started. So I've just given you a glimpse into what we are working on for the next billion users markets. I might be biased, but I truly believe that India is an amazing place for technology. Fortune 500 companies, startup hubs, entrepreneurs, dev centers, they're all blooming across India. And we have some of the best talent in the world. I'm lucky enough to work with many on a daily basis. That's why we believe it's very important for us to meet and work with all of you through events such as these. We want to hear your feedback on our products and programs so that we can give you what you need to turn your ideas into reality, whether you're building for the next billion, like me and my team, or you're building apps for use all across the globe. We want to enable you to focus on the problems that you're trying to solve and minimize the pain points of building a product. The Google developers team is on the ground in over 130 countries.
Android Things makes developing connected mass market products easy by providing the same Android development tools, best-in-class Android framework, and Google APIs that make developers successful and mobile on a trusted platform. And I'm excited to announce that just today, Android Things Developer Preview 6 was released. Android Things hardware is based on system-on-module architecture. The SOM contains the CPU, the memory, the networking, and other core components in a very small package that can be produced cheaply since they're generic parts made in large quantities. For each SOM, Google provides the kernel, drivers, and other software as part of a board support package. So during prototyping and development, you attach them to a breakout board to connect I/O. For production, you can build your own custom board for the SOM, reducing costs and simplifying hardware development. On the software side of things, you build a standard APK and upload it to your fleet of devices via our developer console. Google provides an over-the-air update mechanism so you can roll out updates to your devices, and you can get security updates from the same people who maintain Android. So you can focus on your core business instead of having to worry about patching kernels and libraries. And since Android Things is Android, you can not only use familiar tools like Android Studio, Kotlin, and Firebase combined with Cloud IoT Core, but you can also leverage the power of TensorFlow and the Google Assistant in your products.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kaz Sato. I'm developer advocate for Google Cloud Team. It's like an evangelist for developers. I'd like to introduce machine learning solutions and services from Google. And what are AI, machine learning, and neural network? There's no scientific definition what is AI, but you can say it's the science to make things smart, like building an autonomous driving car or letting computer drawing beautiful pictures. And there has been many approaches to realize the vision of AI, and one of them is the machine learning or ML. With ML, you can program your computer with data, not with the program code written by human programmers. So computers can find certain patterns from data to solve various problems. In ML, there are many different algorithms, and one of them is deep learning or deep neural network. And since 2012, we have been seeing a big breakthrough in the area of neural network. So Google has been making a significant investment in developing a neural network technology. Google has been deploying deep learning technologies in over 100 production projects, such as Google Search, or Android, or Maps, and Gmail, and so on. For example, Google Photos lets you searching photos with keywords. The deep learning algorithms recognizes the objects in photos, and so you don't have to add labels or tags by yourself. Inbox mobile app has the smart reply feature that uses natural language processing technology to generate replies for each email thread. So you can just choose one of them to reply on this thread. Over 12% of responses on the app are already generated by this feature. Google Translate has introduced the new neural machine translation model to generate natural and fluent translated text. And now Google is focusing on externalizing the power of machine learning to customers and developers. One of those ML products is Cloud ML API, the pre-trained machine learning models, such as Vision API for image recognition, or Speech API for voice recognition, and NLL API for natural language processing. Another ML solution is TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source software for machine learning development that lets you train your own customized machine learning model. It is the standard ML tool used inside Google for developing any new machine learning or AI-based services. And Google has open sourced it in November 2015. TensorFlow is scalable and portable. You can start trying TensorFlow with your laptop, then running it with GPU or tens or hundreds of GPUs on the cloud. Because TensorFlow is scalable, you don't have to change your TensorFlow match to bring it to the large-scale distributed training. Also, once you have finished your training with a TensorFlow model, you can run it on various devices, such as smartphones or Raspberry Pi, and everything. With those benefits, TensorFlow got the most popular, big popularity from the open source world, the most popular deep learning framework in the industry now. TensorFlow is used by many large enterprises and projects for their POCs or production cases. Lastly, I'd like to show a demonstration called Find Your Candy. It's a demonstration that integrates the machine learning APIs and TensorFlow as a total ML solutions. Let's take a look at the video.
And give it to you.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, so click on that and speak into the mic.
May I have some gum?
So it understood what you said, may I have some gum? Now it's going through natural language processing. It's identifying the noun there, and gum. So now it's it will then match based upon the model that's been modified. Come on. And it is picking chewy gum. Oh, and there the camera identified extra long-lasting watermelon gum. Now the camera's and over, and there's your gum.
That's great.
Machine learning in an app.
So I get to keep this, right?
Yeah, actually, I've got like 7 boxes back there, so please take everyone take one.
ML APIs and TensorFlow provides a real-world ML solution that allows you to bring the latest deep learning technology to solve your own business problems today. So with that, I'd like to invite Anita on stage to tell you a bit more about TensorFlow Lite.
Thank you, Cass. My name is Anita, and I'm the Technical Project Manager with TensorFlow on the Google Brain team. Bangalore is my hometown, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you. Go Bangalore! I will be introducing you to TensorFlow Lite and why we need an on-device machine learning library. On one side, machine learning traditionally has been run on powerful machines with tremendous amount of compute power. On the other side, mobile devices are ubiquitous and are getting more and more powerful. Some of these devices have more compute power than what NASA had when they first sent a man on the moon. Think about it for a minute. We essentially walk with supercomputers in our pockets these days. These trends enable us to shift some of the machine learning workloads from the cloud back to the device, specifically enabling machine learning inference on mobile and embedded devices, thus pushing the boundaries a little further. There are several reasons why on-device machine learning is useful. First, application developers might want to maintain functionality and do inference while offline. Second, applications may have low latency requirements of the order of milliseconds and really cannot afford a round trip back to the cloud. Third, specific sensitive applications might have requirements for the data to not leave the device, thus ensuring user privacy. There's also a need for the applications to work under low bandwidth, where you don't have the luxury of downloading a huge model at the time of inference. Fourth, processing powers needs to be done without turning on power-hungry radios. These are some of the motivations to do on-device ML. Even though on-device ML sounds like a great idea, mobile devices come with many challenges and have to operate under constrained environments compared to their workstation counterparts. There's limited network bandwidth, limited memory, sometimes even limited computation. At the same time, these mobile devices have very aggressive release and engineering cycles, which means there's hardware heterogeneity, which leads to supporting machine learning on specialized hardware like GPUs and DSPs. We decided that making a product whose sole focus was mobile devices is essential. TensorFlow is primarily for large devices and TensorFlow Lite for smaller devices. Put it simply, TensorFlow Lite is a machine learning library to do inference on mobile and embedded devices that's easier, faster, and smaller. The primary goals of TensorFlow Lite are low latency, small binary footprint, and optimized throughput. TensorFlow Lite has support for Android Neural Network API that enables hardware acceleration, leveraging custom accelerators on the phone. We released the first developer preview of TensorFlow Lite a couple of weeks back, and we have support for popular image classification models as well as text-based smart reply models. We can't wait to see what you all come up with using this on-device inference library. Now, please welcome Tal on stage from the Chrome team to tell you more about Chrome. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita. Hi, everyone. My name is Tal. I'm from the Chrome team. And I'm excited to talk about some of the improvements that we've made on the web over the past year. The web is big. With over 2 billion instances of Chrome, we know that the web has tremendous reach. But one of the true strengths of the web is that it's bigger than any single browser. So regardless of whether the device is a smartphone, or a laptop, or a desktop, or a tablet, they all have a browser. So any web-based experience is available on these billions of devices today. And we've seen this have a real impact on how many users web apps are reaching. We've all seen how quickly mobile has been growing. And native apps have been growing at an incredible pace with it. But what's really remarkable is that even with the web's large initial reach, we've seen the average monthly web audience growing even faster. And because of this growth, we're seeing the web expand into new areas, with experiences like WebVR being built on the web platform. So with the web pretty much everywhere, we're constantly trying to push the boundaries on what it can do. Over the past year, we've shipped hundreds of additional APIs that cover a range of capabilities, from making it easier to integrate payments to building fully capable offline media experiences directly on the web. But beyond just these core capabilities, we're also ensuring that the mobile web works well with the India stack. For example, with our payment request API, it's really easy to tie into popular payment methods for every region. So in India, we've ensured that it integrates with Google's new payments app, Tez. So it integrates with local businesses, banks, and India's unified payments interface. And with all of these capabilities, the modern mobile web also allows developers to build deep, rich mobile experiences with something that we call progressive web apps, or PWAs. PWAs are about helping web developers leverage the web's new capabilities to build high-class experiences that really feel immersive. They can load quickly, they work offline, and you can even send notifications to users. And we've seen a number of amazing experiences taking advantage of these new capabilities. As just one example, there's Ola, a popular ride-sharing app based right here in India, who recently built a progressive web app to help reach users in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Here, they have a polished, fast, immersive experience that works on any connection. It can send users notifications, and it's built completely on the mobile web, so it's already accessible on billions of devices. And we're excited to announce that the reach of this PWA technology is huge, as the core technology powering this is now supported across top browsers, including UC Browser in India. And with the ability to create such immersive experiences like this, we also want to make sure that you can get back to it really easily. Add to Home Screen has always allowed users to add an experience to their Android home screen. But with our improved Add to Home Screen flow, when you add a PWA to your home screen, it's fully integrated into the platform. So to users, it feels like any other app experience on their device. It'll appear in the Android launcher alongside your Android apps, and it'll even appear in Android storage settings. But since it's a PWA, it's inherently small, so users are able to get an immersive experience without requiring extensive storage space. And this fast, integrated, improved Add to Home Screen flow is available now. So with all of these new capabilities, we've also been working to make sure it's easy for web developers to build these experiences. We'll be going into a lot more detail on how to develop PWAs throughout the mobile web track, but no matter how you're building your web app, Lighthouse is a tool that can show you how to improve your web experience. Lighthouse is a Chrome extension and command line tool that quickly audits your site to identify how you can improve your app's performance, accessibility, and progressive web appiness. And we're excited to announce that as of M60, Lighthouse is now directly integrated into DevTools. So now you can quickly see how your website is doing and what to do next directly in Chrome. And with all of these tools, we've seen just how easy it can be for companies to take advantage of these new capabilities for their web experience. To give another example, there's Voot, a popular video streaming site, also based here in India. And it's an experience built on the web, so users can get to it directly. And with our new Add to Home Screen flow, it can also be easily accessed from the app launcher or the Android home screen. And when you open it, you get a high-class immersive experience. It automatically rotates to allow for full-screen experiences. And with some of the newest APIs, they can even support downloading of videos and offline playback. And since it's built on the web, users can get this entire experience immediately on their devices. And this is just one example of many. Leveraging the modern mobile web is now the norm around the world. Whether they're building a PWA from scratch or leveraging the latest capabilities on their existing web experience, companies everywhere are seeing a tangible impact on their key metrics. With the modern mobile web, it's possible to easily build immersive, fully capable experiences that can reach billions of people around the world today. And now, let's turn our focus to what we're doing to make it easier to develop apps and grow your business. Please welcome Francis.
Hi, I'm Francis, and I lead the Firebase product team. Our mission is to help developers like you build a better app and grow a more successful business. At I/O 2016, we've expanded Firebase from a set of back-end services to a broad mobile platform to help you solve many of the common problems you face across the lifecycle of your app. From helping you build faster and easier with products like remote cloud storage and real-time database, to helping you better understand and grow your users with tools like analytics and cloud messaging. Whether you're starting something new or looking to extend an existing app, we're here to help you so that you can channel more of your time and energy towards creating value for your users. And we make this available all through a single, easy-to-use SDK available across platforms. To date, there are over 1 million developers that have used Firebase, And we're humbled that so many of you have trusted us with your apps, and we're committed to helping you succeed. Over the last year, our team has made many updates to Firebase, and I'd like to highlight a few of these. First, let's start with backend services, where we provide you the core building blocks to help you build your apps faster and easier. One of these is Cloud Firestore, a NoSQL document database that scales automatically. Cloud Firestore features a new document collections data model, and it makes it a lot more intuitive for you to structure your data. It's also fully auto-managed, and it's built on Google's global infrastructure, so that it will automatically scale with you, and you don't have to worry about managing your machine sizes, RAM allocation, or networks. Now, Firestore, like other Firebase products, also works with Cloud Functions. Cloud Functions gives you a way to deploy your JavaScript code to the cloud and execute it based on an HTTP request or through other events happening across Firebase. So for example, you can write a function to extend Cloud Firestore to do some server-side processing, like data validation, whenever a document is uploaded. With Firestore, Functions, and other Firebase backend services, our infrastructure will scale with your workload automatically from prototype to planet scale, freeing you from managing your own servers. So let's switch gears to talk about some other updates that can help you better understand and improve your app stability. Since welcoming the Fabric team to Google earlier this year, we've integrated Crashlytics into Firebase. Firebase Crashlytics is our flagship crash reporting product that helps you monitor and fix crashes and app errors. And in addition to monitoring app crashes, it's also really important to understand how your app performs out in the field, because users often abandon slow-running apps. And that's where Firebase Performance Monitoring can help you better understand how your app performs across the diversity of devices and network conditions. Now, with just one line of code, you can get insights into your app's startup time and network latency. As well, you can add custom metrics to really understand how your app performs through those critical user flows that you really care about. And this is a great way to find those bottlenecks in your app that could be impacting your user engagement or even your business bottom line. So in addition to helping you build a better app, Firebase also helps you grow and engage more users. First, let's talk about cloud messaging, or FCM, which gives you an easy way to send notifications to engage your users. FCM is integrated with analytics, so it gives you many options to send targeted notifications to different user groups or app versions. Another great way to drive user engagement is by creating a personalized experience. And remote config helps you do that more easily by enabling you to change your app's configuration remotely and at runtime. It's also integrated with analytics, so you can fine-tune and customize your app experience to different user segments or app versions. Now, many developers use FCM and remote config to create a more targeted experience. But we've also heard from many of you that you want an easier and more powerful way to test different variants. And for that, we've recently released first-class A/B testing support for Firebase. With A/B testing, you can test different variants of notification messages or configuration values to different groups of users, and it'll help you figure out which of these variants perform best for the goals that you've specified. So for example, you can figure out whether the orange button or the blue button help drive more user purchases. I'm also very excited to share that we've recently taken our first step of bringing Google's machine learning to Firebase with the release of Firebase Predictions. Predictions applies ML to your analytics data and helps you predict users' behavior like churn, spend, or other events that you've specified that are important to your app. Now, it's also integrated with other Firebase products, so you can take targeted actions like triggering an in-app promotion using remote config to users who are most likely to spend, or say, send the push notifications to target users who are likely to churn, or run A/B tests across these different groups. I'm very excited to be here sharing these updates on behalf of the Firebase team and meeting many of you here. I look forward to hearing your feedback and continue to work hard to help you build a better app and grow a more successful business. Thank you.
It's great being back in India. I was born in Chennai and did my high school in Calcutta, and was fortunate to grow up in different parts of the world, including Lagos, Nigeria. So to be here today presenting inclusive design and how we can build products for all, including emerging markets like India and Nigeria, is really exciting. As Sebastian said, I'm from YouTube, and you'll be seeing a lot of videos in my presentation today. Let's get started with one. Can we roll the video, please?
Me love rewind. Nom nom nom. Trust me, I'm my INDEPENDENT hustler. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now sing the song and it goes like. And it goes like. What the fuck say? You wanna change the world? You're a goat. You can do that. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us.
This is a clip from one of my all-time favorite YouTube Rewind videos, as it captures the essence of YouTube. YouTube started with a very simple mission: broadcast yourself, and has grown into a global platform with global reach. We have over 1.5 billion users visiting YouTube every month, with over 80% of our views coming from outside the United States. YouTube is an open and democratic platform with over 400 hours of videos uploaded every minute by creators all around the world, making YouTube the platform with the most diverse content. In the time that it took me to say this whole sentence, almost a day's worth of videos have been uploaded to YouTube. YouTube, unlike traditional media, has no gatekeepers. Anyone can have a voice and reach an audience. While this is still very true about YouTube, a few years ago, when I was looking at some usage data on YouTube, I realized as our platform and usage have grown, human dynamics and unconscious biases are creeping in. So on YouTube too, we see biases and gender gaps, for instance, similar to traditional media. For instance, a lot of our fashion content is created by female creators, and a lot of our STEM and science content by male creators. This insight drove me to start a pitch and a dialogue within YouTube and across Google about diversity in the context of product design and how unconscious biases are playing into our products. So what if YouTube, in addition to optimizing for watch time, became more intentional about a demographic goal, such as gender reach or ethnicity reach on our platform? This would open up opportunities for us to deepen engagement and onboard more users onto the platform, thereby driving growth. For the first time, we expanded conversations around diversity at Google from diversity in hiring and building balanced teams to diversity being a critical factor in defining our product strategies and growth strategies. So what is inclusive design? It's about engineering products for all your target users across all demographics. Broadening your demographic reach helps unlock opportunities that will drive growth for you. Inclusive design is not just about user experience or visual design. It's also about the algorithms and machine learning, about testing and training data, about how you brand your product, the marketing, the PR, and more. It's about asking the question, for which of my target users can I be doing more for? It can be in the form of gender, reach. It could also be that your product works great when you have good connectivity, but not so well when you're in the developing world. It could be about optimizing your experiences to deepen engagement with a certain cultural group. We as an industry have been doing inclusive design for years now in the form of accessibility work. And this is about expanding that across other dimensions. For instance, when airbags first came out, they caused more deaths and injuries in women and children. Why? Because airbags were tested with only tall male crash test dummies. Were the engineers who designed this test program and plan sexist? No, it was their unconscious biases that informed their approach. Female drivers tend to have a smaller build, and in real-world crashes have a 47% higher chance of fatal injuries. Once the automobile industry realized this and incorporated women into their design and started using female crash test dummies, safety of airbags improved significantly for women, and not just for women, but for anyone with a smaller build. So this is a great example of gender-based inclusive design. Kids are still an underserved market here and an opportunity for them. For this next example, I would like to start by rolling a video.
My coworker Wanda and I are sitting in front of an HP Media Smart computer. It's supposed to follow me as I move. I'm black. I think my blackness is interfering with the computer's ability to follow me.
So she moved this way, and the camera followed her. And then he'd get into the screen, and it would be completely stable.
No face recognition anymore, buddy.
Anyone know what's happening? For this, we need to go back to the 1950s when Kodak dominated color photography and introduced the original Shirley color card that has become a standard in photography, but has one problem. It works better with lighter skin tones. So what this means is you often have exposure issues when taking multiracial photos. This became a big problem in the 1970s when chocolate makers and wood manufacturers were having a hard time creating advertising material because it was hard to capture the different shades of browns in their products. And also as the film and media industry was starting to become more diverse. Finally, in the 1990s, a group of engineers decided to take an inclusive design approach and introduced multiracial color cards to help bridge this gap. While it's improved a lot, there is still a slight light skin bias. And I'm really proud to say that at Google, the camera team has taken a proactive inclusive design approach to help bridge this. Let's see a video of what the team has done. Let's roll the video, please.
Pictures tell stories. It doesn't really matter if it's a selfie or if it's a portrait that somebody is taking of another person. You are sharing in that human moment.
Let's take a picture, you two. 1, 2, 3. No, he's too dark.
So this is where the discussion started.
Here, just use my phone. It's got a better sensor.
A better sensor? What does that even mean? Color tuning is an extremely complicated process. When we look at images, what we try to do is figure out how much of a difference there is between, let's say, a reference image and the image that we actually are trying to quantify. We were running some tests on a product, and it was the proximity sensor we were testing. And we said, oh, it looks like it does 60 centimeters. And we looked at each other and go, we're both white. The technology itself, as many people will say, is not racist. It's just that it wasn't tested properly to make sure that the designers weren't unconsciously biased. Hey, there's an entire world out there and we want to make sure this works for everybody. I love the fact that we get to influence cameras, that we get to share those experiences of life and emotion. And to me, that is what imaging is about. It is a vehicle to express humanity.
Take a picture of you two. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. How many of you know of Cheetos? Again, like them? Most of the room. I like them too. Did you know when Cheetos first came out, they were only available in one flavor, the original cheese flavor? Until a janitor who worked for the company started adding chili and lime to his packets of Cheetos because he was Latino and liked the flavor of that. His friends and family took to it too. So he decided to pitch an idea of introducing this new flavor to the CEO of the company, who actually listened to the janitor and experimented, thereby unlocking new markets. Every time I tell this story, people want to know what happened to the janitor. He is now a senior executive at the company, a true rags to riches story, and more importantly, a great case of culture-based inclusive design. This next example is near and dear to me. It's from YouTube. A few years ago, we wanted to increase the engagement of YouTube with kids and families. So we brought kids into our UX labs to see how they use YouTube. So this is what we normally see. This is how kids see it. They only care about the content on the screen and nothing else. And that is when we realized to increase engagement with kids and families, we have to reimagine YouTube from the ground up, build a special app just for them. And that's how the YouTube Kids app was born. The YouTube Kids app provides an easy-to-use, engaging, and enriching experience for kids and families through a combination of several user experience and interaction innovations, and also a lot of back-end algorithmic and classification work that we did. This is a great example of age-based inclusive design, and it also showcases that sometimes to meet the needs of specific target groups, like demographic groups, you may have to build something special just for them. I wanted to roll a video to show the original launch video of YouTube Kids.
Okay, so do you want to tell a story?
Sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now everything is popping into my brain. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Alex. 3 sisters, a bunny, 2 trains. He got caught in a bubble, and then he was floating around. He went to France, and then he sees Dracula and a few ghosts and Frankenstein. And then the robot came and ate the whole town. And everyone went like crazy. And then they had to destroy the robot. That was the only thing. So I put it on the sun, because since the sun is made of gas, it couldn't eat anything there. He got surprised, and then he jumped back and popped the bubble and he fell. The end. It's really weird.
How many of you use emojis? Most of you. You're not alone. 90% of the world's online population uses emojis. While there are many to choose from, they're fairly stereotypical. Like, this is how boys or men are portrayed, and this is how typically women or girls are portrayed. To bridge this gap and to inspire young girls, Google has introduced a whole new range of emojis representing men and women in different roles and different skin and hair colors to be more inclusive. And this is now becoming an industry-wide standard with iOS, Facebook, Twitter, and others embracing these. Again, a great case of gender-based and ethnicity-based inclusive design. How many of you are familiar with harassment of women in online gaming communities? Any gamers in the audience? I see a few. So it's been a big problem in terms of female gamers and how hashtags and online commenting is used to harass them. And many of you might have heard of Gamergate as well. A few years ago, we organized a Women at YouTube hackathon around the theme of bridging the gender gap to bring around organic thinking and momentum around inclusive design. One of the salient projects in this hackathon focused on improving our comment system on YouTube to help women combat harassment and feel safer on YouTube. As a result of this hackathon project, we've released a lot of features and enhancements to our comments moderation tools, providing a lot more control to creators to handle these. A great example of gender-based inclusive design helping us deepen our engagement with our female creators, and also shows you that grassroots momentum can be built using things like hackathon to bring about change. YouTube Go, how many of you use it? Some. A few years ago, we realized that emerging markets have their own specific needs. With connectivity and bandwidth issues, many of you, I'm sure, have experienced the spinning wheel when watching videos, waiting for it to load. I see some nods and smiles. Also, socioeconomic factors. Not many have the latest smartphones and have hardware constraints. And also, localization of the content to make it more interesting for the local audience. To bridge these gaps, we built from the ground up YouTube Go that provides localized experiences and also focuses on offline first and is very bandwidth sensitive, giving users a lot more control and transparency over how data is used within the app. So now I've shown you several examples of inclusive design across different industries, many from YouTube and Google too. And I want to switch to talking about how can we do inclusive design at scale? And how can you become more proactive in inclusive design thinking rather than reactive after the fact? At Google, these are the different phases, typical phases of product development that we have. And we are starting to become more intentional about demographic goals at every phase of product development. So starting from the idea and target user definition, we are looking at our metrics and the business opportunities to understand what demographic gaps are there within our target user segments and which ones should we prioritize to try and fix and bridge. So as a part of target user definition, for instance, in addition to saying we are targeting users 18 to 34 of age, we say 18 to 34 with equal representation of men and women. Once we pick that demographic goal in that target user definition phase, we carry it through rest of the phases of product development. In testing, whether we are selecting users for user research or usability testing, or running live experiments and monitoring how the metrics are moving when you roll out new features, new changes, or internal dog food testing, making sure that our dog food users are representative of the target users we're trying to go after. A lot of what we do at Google is also about machine learning and algorithms. And you might be wondering, how can machines be biased? They can be because the training data that goes with them have biases. I want to roll a video from the machine learning team explaining the different kinds of biases that you want to watch out for. Let's roll the video.
Let's play a game. Close your eyes and picture a shoe. Okay, did anyone picture this? This? How about this? We may not even know why, but each of us is biased toward one shoe over the others. Now imagine that you're trying to teach a computer to recognize a shoe. You may end up exposing it to your own bias. That's how bias happens in machine learning. But first, what is machine learning? Well, it's used in a lot of technology we use today. Machine learning helps us get from place to place, gives us suggestions, translates stuff, even understands what you say to it. How does it work? With traditional programming, people hand code the solution to a problem, step by step. With machine learning, computers learn the solution by finding patterns in data. So it's easy to think there's no human bias in that. But just because something is based on data doesn't automatically make it neutral. Even with good intentions, it's impossible to separate ourselves from our own human biases. So our human biases become part of the technology we create in many different ways. There's interaction bias, like this recent game where people were asked to draw shoes for the computer. Most people drew ones like this. So as more people interacted with the game, the computer didn't even recognize these. Latent bias. For example, if you were training a computer on what a physicist looks like, and you're using pictures of past physicists, your algorithm will end up with a latent bias, skewing towards men. And selection bias. Say you're training a model to recognize faces. Whether you grab images from the internet or your own photo library, are you making sure to select photos that represent everyone? Since some of our most advanced products use machine learning, we've been working to prevent that technology from perpetuating negative human bias. From tackling offensive or clearly misleading information from appearing at the top of your search results page, to adding a feedback tool on the search bar so people can flag hateful or inappropriate autocomplete suggestions. It's a complex issue and there's no magic bullet, but it starts with all of us being aware of it so we can all be part of the conversation. Because technology should work for everyone.
And finally, once a product is built, it's important that the branding, the marketing videos, PR, even the support that you offer are tailored to echo the demographic goals that you set. For inclusive design to really work within your companies, it's still very important to make sure you have diverse perspectives and you have balanced teams that you've built up and foster an inclusive culture. So to this end, the Google Computer Science Education and Media efforts is increasing access to technology education around the world to diverse populations. It's raising awareness of unconscious biases and unconscious bias trainings, and also changing the portrayal of engineers in the media because this can be an extremely powerful influencer. This next video I want to roll will show you some of the work we've been doing in partnership with the media companies.
When I think of the lack of diversity in Hollywood and the lack of inclusion, I figure if I'm not part of the solution, then I'm part of the problem.
When I meet students who look like me, I see their eyes light up when they learn that I'm an engineer.
The most rewarding aspect
aspect of this work is showing girls that they don't have to choose between computer science and their passions. Computer science is really just a tool for what they love.
Computer code can do anything. This one searches for signs of life in outer space.
Growing up, I was so good at math and science, but I didn't feel like I could pursue a career in STEAM because I didn't see anyone who looked like me doing it, especially not on TV.
A Google-funded Gina Davis Inclusion Quotient shows that even when women are leads in film, they still receive 3 times less screen and speaking time than their male counterparts.
The only way to find the source address is to access and analyze the datagram packets in his broadcast.
We want technology to look fun, accessible, and common as something to do for girls, or as some would say, normal, because it is.
I'm here because I want the billions of women and girls all over the world to know that you can be literally anything you want to be.
Our CS and media team strives to change the narrative of computer science for people of color, the LGBTQIA+ community, people with disabilities, all aspiring youth, so they can finally see their reflections in the media.
As a woman of color and a mom, I want my kids to know they can pursue any career, regardless of gender or race.
Yes, absolutely. If the platform doesn't exist, we need to create it.
Google is in a unique position to work with partners to provide students with access to technology and empower them to be creators.
It is so cool to see their minds filled with possibilities.
So now it comes to you all. Hopefully I've inspired you about why it's important to do proactive, inclusive design thinking. And I want to leave you with a little bit of a cheat sheet of what you can do when you go back to your offices or colleges. So think about the demographic gaps that are there. See how you can measure it and have metrics to go with it. Prioritize which gaps you want to go after solving, bridge them, and celebrate your success. Also foster an inclusive culture within your teams through things like hackathons and bringing about inclusive thinking across the board.
Good evening. Are you all awake? Are you really awake? Are you tired? Oh, thank you very much for overcoming the tiredness to come here. How many are you from the GDG community? Oh, how many of you are there from the developer student clubs? Awesome. How many of you are certified alumni? Nice. Thank you very much, folks. And this is a community session, so we're going to spend the next 30 minutes with a series of lightning talks. My name is Karthik Padmanabhan. I'm part of the developer relations team, representing the team, and I'm trying to moderate this 30-minute talk, which is going to be very quick, snazzy, 4-minute format. And we're going to try to get through this with little swiftness and a lot of speed. So before we get into these talks, I just want to very quickly set the context. For every particular life cycle in a developer, right, we have some Google developer programs available to you. So if you're a student in a college, you can check out the Developer Student Club. You can become a community leader. You can get more members into that, and you can get going with that. Or if you feel that you want to be employed and you want to get the right kind of employment, you can go looking for the certified alumni program out there, and some of you would have already gone check that out. And then you can eventually get into a stage where you're actually professional and you want to work. You can become a part of the GDG network, Google Developer Groups, and become a member, become a leader, and we're going to have some series of talks from that. And eventually, if you feel, especially all the women folks out there, how many of you are there? Please raise your hands. Oh, give them a big round of applause, guys. Thank you. And so you can all become a women tech leader, tech maker, and a leader, a WTM lead as part of the WTM program. And then we also for people who are really spend a lot of time and build a lot of expertise and want to go ahead and share that knowledge, we have a platform called the Google Developer Experts. You can go ahead and leverage that. And then finally, we have a startup program, and you can become a Launchpad member as a part of the program. This is all these programs across the entire life cycle of a developer, and you are able to connect with any of these programs, and you can later connect with me or the team to get more details on this. So with that, let me give, please, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Christy Anup to come on stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christy Anup, and I'm the lead for Developer Student Club at CMR Institute of Technology. Well, I'm a fourth-year information science and engineering student who spends most of his time outside the class than in the classroom. Now, let's not get into what I do outside the classroom. In fact, I help my friends and I mentor my juniors. This is what I do. Today in this presentation, I will be going through what we as GSC leads do, our roles and our responsibilities. The Developer Student Club program is a massive network of 190 developer student clubs all across the country. From approximately 100 cities, these developer student leads were handpicked by Google after rigorous rounds of interview from application pool of 1,000+ applications. We strongly believe that these GSC leads will have a high impact in the society. Now let me briefly go through what we do. We are students. We learn and we keep learning. We learn from the amazing material provided to us from Google, beautiful material, and we share this knowledge through workshops. These workshops are not only open for novice developers, but also open to advanced developers trying to further their skills. These workshops are custom designed for the type of audience that enter the workshops. And by the end of every workshop, we make sure to provide them material directly from Google from which they can continue self-learning. And trust me, we have received amazing, tremendous feedback for these workshops, and we will be providing more and more workshops in the coming months. Now, students have become technically strong. They know how to code, but they will have to implement it somewhere, right? They're going to help local businesses, local entrepreneurs, and local organizations help run their businesses more efficiently and help them make more money at the end of the day. This is one of the beauties of the Developer Student Club network. All this takes place through communication. They go to the local businesses, find out what their problems are, and develop mobile and web solutions for them. Now, these are not big organizations or businesses, just small businesses, and they come up with very simple solutions to help them. And in this entire journey, the developer student leads and the students not only become technically strong, but they also learn business analytical, business communication, as well as soft skills, and most importantly, they learn real-world problem-solving skills. How awesome is that? Now, students know everything. They're technically strong. They know the ins and outs of business. They also know how to communicate well. They're more open to employability opportunities. They're more open to full-time internship as well as freelance project opportunities. How awesome is that? That's really amazing, isn't it? This is one of the main aims of the Developer Student Club network, to help students, to help them make more employable. And finally, we would love for you to be a part of the Developer Student Club network. Please contact the email ID on the screen, and you will be connected to your nearest Developer Student Club in your city, where you can provide mentorship, training, and also help students solve real-world problems. We look forward to seeing you, all of us on our campuses, helping our students, helping local organizations, and helping our world an amazing place to live. Thank you.
Wow. Christy, I have a awesome. Thanks for this passionate talk, and really appreciate all the great work you're doing for the Developer Student Club program. So what has been one of those important moments for you managing this program at CMRIT? By the way, he's in the 4th year information science in CMRIT. What has been a memorable moment for you?
So this program has completely transformed me, Karthik. I'm not the person I used to be. So I used to be a bit of a selfish person, but after coming to this program, I've completely changed into a new person. I won multiple awards, but when students who you taught in your workshops come back to you after a few weeks, after a few days, with their own application, you feel a sense of accomplishment. This is a type of reward that I've never felt before. So this is what I love of the Developer Student Club network.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Anup. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Karthik.
So let's move on to the next very important program, Google certification, Google Developer Certification. Before I call on JP, how many of you have gone to the certification lounge? Wow, that's awesome. Thank you very much. So we have the global lead for certification, JP and Kamal. Take it away, JP.
We're here to talk about developer certification. Who wants to hear about developer certification? All right.
Ooh.
Do we need it louder?
Ooh.
Ooh, developer certification. Woo! All right. I'm JP. I'm the program manager for developer certification, and we launched developer certification at I/O in 2016, with the purpose being to help close a gap for employers that are looking for talented developers and developers that are looking for jobs. In this, our mission has been to create performance-based certifications that are industry standard and help developers gain recognition and advance their careers. Since we launched the program, we have created Associate Android Developer as a certification, Mobile Web Specialist as a certification, and there's more to come. We've certified approximately 1,700 developers in over 90 countries. 300 of those developers are Indian developers. In addition to the numbers, there's also been some impact in terms of promotions, jobs, career. Alumni are reporting new jobs, additional opportunities, speaking opportunities. It's making an impact. Some of the testimonials we've basically received speak to this, and there's more. So this is just a brief overview to set the stage for certification. What I'd like to do now is introduce Kamal Avad. Kamal is one of our first certified Android developers, and he's going to speak about his experience with the certification program and what has happened since that time.
Hello everyone, my name is Kamal Ved. I am Google certified Android developer with having experience of 5+ years in Android. Currently I'm working with Infosys Limited at Chandigarh as tech analyst. I first heard about this program at I/O and I was super excited because I found a way to test my skills. So I completed my certification back in 2016 and it has benefited me personally as well as professionally. By personally, I mean, I was looking for a job in 2016 in good organizations before my certification. Once I completed my certification, I got noticed, visibility, and got more job calls. So it helped in a way. If I talk about professionally, I'm a SME, a smart professional engineer, subject architect, and working with in different programs that includes reviews, app management, and different activities in an organization. I'm getting more visibility in my current organization due to my certification, as I am the only certified guide in Infosys at Chandigarh region. There are more benefits associated with certification as well. From organization point of view, every organization wants to hire good talent, having good technical, sound knowledge under the belt, right? So they are using certification as a filter nowadays to conduct quick interviews. If you are a certified dev right now, you will definitely have an edge over others. There are some other benefits related to certification that I have got. I want to share that. Social. If you are a social person, ever since I have completed my certification, I have been called by many universities, colleges, students to come over the place and work as a trainer to guide them and tell about the certification program and how they can go about the Android stuff. So, for example, I have been called by GDD Jalandhar for DevFest recently. So here's the link. If you are interested in this program, you can go over this link and find the stuff and go step by step.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, please give JP and Kamal a big round of applause. And please keep the certification momentum going across, and there will be a lot of new certifications coming up. So stay tuned and keep track of what's happening in the certification world. So moving on to the next talk, are you guys having fun? Is it interesting? Is breaking the monotony? Yes, no? Huh? Yes? Yes? Okay, so let's call my next speaker who's from the favorite part of the country called Jaipur. Vikas Bajpai is going to share his thoughts and views about building the Google developer groups. So without much ado, please welcome Vikas Bajpai. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, Karthik.
All yours.
Hello, everyone. So one of the prime benefit of being a GDG member is you get a huge fan following. So I am Vikas. The entire country is in search of Vikas these days. Jokes apart, I am Vikas Bajpai. I am the organizer of GDG Jaipur. It's in Rajasthan. When we talk about GDG, just wanted to get to know that how many of you are aware about this term GDG? Right, so many of you. So basically, GDG gives you a platform where you can talk, you can share, you can interact, and of course, you can have some good food. Right, looking at my health, you can have trust on whatever I'm saying. So if you talk about Google Developers Group in terms of the presence all across the globe, we have 700 plus community groups in 107 countries with 300,000 people associated with these groups. And it's huge. It's huge. And it's supported by 2,000 organizers all across the globe. And if you talk about Indian context, so what we have here is we have 21 chapters which is supported by n number of developers. Some of the developers are sitting in this audience as well. And we are able to reach 75,000 plus people. If you want to know more about this Google Developers Group, or if you want to open a chapter in your city or in your region, you can visit meetup.com/pro/GDG. All the activities which are performed under this umbrella or the Google's umbrella are absolutely free. And of course, I would like to see you in the future events which will be organized by these chapters. If you want to know more, if you want to get more insight about the Google Developers Group, you can interact with some of the awesome GDG organizers who are sitting in the community lounge. Some of the people are sitting here only. And you can also reach out to me as well. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hey, what you forgot to tell is that 75,000 out of this overall 300,000 is from India. So please give yourself a big round of applause, guys. It's a big chunk of community out here in this great nation called India. Thank you very much. Keep that going. So, Vikas, most important thing is that, so you've been serving the community for how long now?
Since last 5 years.
Please give another round of applause. 5 years.
Thank you.
5 years doing a volunteer work is big deal. Thank you very much. So what is that one thing that comes across in this last 5 years which you want to share with the audience?
Okay, so after every event, we collect the feedbacks. And we get the inputs from the audience, that means the attendees. And even if a single attendee says that the event was useful, we get a satisfactory smile on our face. And that keeps us motivated. Right.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Vikas Bajpai for you. Please give him another round of applause, guys. Come on. Give it. Give it. Thank you. Okay, so now I have the great honor and privilege of calling on stage Sukriti Paul. Sukriti Paul is a fourth-year computer science student from Manipal Institute of Technology. She also happens to be the Women Tech Maker lead, and she's been doing an awesome job making sure that a lot of women get into part of the WTM community out there in Manipal. Without much ado, let's invite on stage Sukriti Paul, guys, please.
To begin with, the WTM program basically provides an ecosystem which is built on visibility, community, and resources for women tech enthusiasts around the globe. Visibility means that it gives us a platform to showcase role models and also showcase the achievements of women technologists. Community is the human component, which basically helps us in building networks, sharing our knowledge, and motivation. The Women Tech Makers program also provides us with resources which help in career development and building one's technical skill set so that the women can become industry leaders. The Women Tech Makers chapters across the various cities set out to build roadmaps to accomplish our mission. And our mission is to proliferate the participation of women in technology. Back in 2012, Megan Smith started this as a part of Google I/O, and today it is led by a global team of Googlers and headed by Natalie Villalobos. So with over 4,350 participants and members and 27 active chapters in India, Women Tech Makers assume seamless functionality and coordination, and the numbers keep growing by the day. Now let me talk a little about the initiatives. Our in-house activities include meetups, speaker sessions, hands-on sessions, workshops, lightning talks, and mentorship programs. Some of the communities also promote progressive learning via collaborative projects to help our members step into open source ventures. The Women Tech Makers program this year actually is, we're glad to announce this year, there's an overall 25% women participation in the DevFest season 2017. When it comes to the global programs, the Women Tech Makers group promotes and encourages women to participate in signature events like IWD, the Grace Hopper Collins India Conference, and the Women Tech Makers Lead Summit. Propagating Anita Borg's vision of 50-50 by 2020, the WTM Scholars Program selects and empowers individuals who show an excellent academic performance, outreach contribution, and have technical knowledge. Women Tech Makers has also partnered with Udacity to provide 100 scholarships for fully certified courses for the women in technology. Now, I've spoken about the WTM story, and I'd request all the women and the men, of course, everyone in the room, to engage with us. Our social media and Twitter handle is Women Tech Makers. You can join the movement by registering as a member at www.womentechmakers.com/membership. The benefits of being a member is that a global team actually curates these resources, and the content is emailed to you. So for the experienced women, there is a separate program, and they can actually register as influencers where they mentor startups and they mentor individuals based on their expertise. So do join the movement that is centered around inclusion, diversity, and equality and equal opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a big round of applause. Thank you, Sukriti. A quick question for you. What's been one of the biggest challenge for you as being a WTM lead at Manipal Institute of Technology?
Okay, so thank you, Karthik. One of the biggest challenges for me is that my chapter is a college-centric chapter. So designing events which cater to the needs of all the 4 years of college, starting from the freshers to the final year students, it has been the biggest challenge for me because there is a huge variation in technical skill set over the 4 years of college. Having said that, another smaller challenge was the scheduling of events because of the college timetable clashes and different study hours. We come from a residential college, so I think these are the challenges.
Thank you. Please, you're doing a great job in spite of these challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karthik.
And another thing is that thank you for you and all the WTM leads out there for making it one of the most diverse tech conference, at least Google has handled in this part of the world. Thank you very much. Okay, so before I get carried away, I know I have a lot of time pressure. So Soham, my great friend, who's been my partner in crime in a lot of these Solve for India events, which we did together for the last 6 months in 15 cities. Over to Soham Mandal, who's a Google developer expert, giving a lot of his knowledge, sharing a lot of stuff with community and developers. Over to you, Soham.
Hi, everyone. I'm Soham, and I'm a Google developer expert for user experience. And I'm here to talk to you about the Google Developer Experts program. So Google Developer Experts is basically a global network of experts in these 3 focus areas. The first focus area is technology, which includes technologies like Android, web, cloud, and so on. The second focus area is product design, which includes the various disciplines of product design, strategy, and so on. The third focus area is growth and monetization, which includes marketing, branding, distribution, and so on. So to be an expert, you have to be an expert in some of these areas, and you have to undergo a thorough evaluation process. So currently, there are about 450 experts in the world, and just 13 of them are from India. I believe this is not truly representative of the amount of talent we have in the country right now, right? So I really look forward to having more experts from India join the program very soon. So what do Google Developer Experts do? The short answer to that question is Google Developer Experts contribute to the community in a very positive way. And this could be in one of many ways. For example, I have friends who are experts who write great blog posts, and their posts have lots of views and followers. Other experts contribute to open source in a very, very prolific way. They have lots of followers and stars on GitHub. Other experts mentor startups and actually help decide their future. More recently, I've also seen experts doing live streams, and that is a very, very interesting trend. In general, experts are all about helping people and solving problems. So in case you're interested in learning more about the Experts program, please visit this URL. Feel free to also reach out to me or any of the other experts in the room if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Soham.
Thank you.
So what's been your learning after mentoring so many startups and sharing a lot of expertise on UX and Android, building apps during the Solve for India tour? So what is that one thing that sort of struck your mind?
So before joining the program and before joining Solve for India, I was able to contribute to my community here in Bangalore. But after the initiative, I was able to travel to various cities in India, like Bhubaneswar, Kolkata, and so on. And then I think I've been able to make an impact in the lives of designers and developers across India, which is something incredible, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Soham. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, Soham Mandal. So we're going to get to the last part of the lightning talk. We have the last speaker. So Srinath has been involved with the Launchpad mentorship program for many years. He spent thousands of hours mentoring startups across the various formats of Launchpad, and I don't want to steal the thunder away from him. So let's invite on stage Srinath VS. Srinath, come on up.
Thanks, Karthik. Good evening, everyone. My name is Srinath, and I am a product management consultant. I used to head product management for maps for a range of Nokia phones till about 4 years ago when I quit. And then I used to write a lot on product management on LinkedIn. Someone at Google once saw what I'd written, and then they called me and said they're going to start this whole series of programs called Launchpad, and would I like to come and be a mentor there? And that's how my journey with Launchpad started. So what really is Launchpad? Launchpad is a program that Google put together for startups to help them with various queries that they have. And realizing that startups have very different challenges early on and later, the program is structured differently for early stage startups as well as mature startups. So for early stage startups, you have the Launchpad Start and the Launchpad Build, which is a 2-day or a 5-day program. Largely what it does is it helps startups come back, reflect on a lot of things around how they're building their products, how they're doing their marketing, and brainstorm with a bunch of Googlers as well as industry experts across product, UX, marketing, or technology. For later stage startups or more mature startups, there is also a Launchpad Accelerator, which is a 6-month program, which usually starts with a 2-week, really intense sit down, where you sit down with people and do the same exercise over and over again, and walk away with clear targets of what you're going to do over the next 6 months. Now, what's in it for startups? Yeah, Launchpad offers a great way for startups to really work with some of the best mentors across the world, from Google and from elsewhere. And much of this is customized to the life stage of the startups. When you're very early on, you're looking at saying, how do I grow and how do I really build a market share? But later on, you end up having queries of, is this the right team structure? Why I want to move to a different geography? What do I do around that? And Launchpad lets you brainstorm not just with experts, but other startups as well. The team of Launchpad mentors, many of us have worked across geographies. So we're able to sit down with startups in some country and come back and say, hey, you know what, maybe some other country, some startups solved it another way. So why don't you learn? So there's a great opportunity for cross-pollination. Launchpad, the impact of Launchpad program, the start and build, there have been over 500 mentorship hours and rated very highly by startups. It's rated over 4.6. And the Launchpad Accelerator, which is a 6-month program, startups there have raised over 62 million of funding. Personally, it's been a great learning experience as a mentor because we get to see very diverse startups, and it's a great connect the dot opportunities, working with startups across different domains, as well as with working with the different communities. So working with other mentors and seeing what are the different perspectives that they bring. How does a UX mentor look at it versus how does a marketing mentor look at it, or a product mentor or a tech mentor, and just synthesize all of this and try and help the startups. For me, it's also been a great way of giving back, helping others see a little clearer by being a third-party view to reflect on the problem that they have. So if any of you have startups, I'd strongly encourage you to try out, to apply at this point. The Twitter handle is here, googledevs.in. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinath. Before you go, so you've been spending so many hours mentoring startups over maybe 4 years now?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years now.
3 or 4 years. So what's that one thing which has struck you in all these 4 years of being associated with Launchpad and mentoring startups?
So I've done mentorship sessions in India, in San Francisco, in Istanbul, met startups from across multiple countries. I remember this one time we were sitting with this startup which was working for house help in Mexico. So they were trying to build a community of house help and a marketplace for them. So we were sitting and brainstorming about this whole thing, and they were looking at elements of saying, how do you make sure that we get the first visit from house help? And then we started brainstorming around this and realizing the emotional value of having someone trusted at home is far higher than something else. So that brought an entire shift to the way they looked at the problem. So for me, looking at these startups and then just helping them reflect on the problem and see it differently, that's been a big benefit.
Thank you very much, Srinath. Thanks for all your significant contribution. Keep it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So with that, before I thank you all, I just want to quickly wrap up the session. So we heard about 6 lightning talks. There are 6 gorgeous programs from Google Developer Group. What's the first one? Developer Student Club. Okay, just if you're in college, if you're a student, just participate in the Developer Student Club, enroll, meet your leader, and start contributing to the community right away. So if you're still in college or if you're working and if you want to get certified on any of the Google technologies like Android to start with and eventually PWA and some point in time Google Cloud, please go ahead and use Kamal as an example and get certified. And then if you're professional developers already engaged in working with a startup or an enterprise or doing your own stuff, please join the Google Developer Groups, a vibrant community which always believes in sharing and gaining a lot from that by sharing. Become a GDG member right away. And then for all those gorgeous women folks out there, you can have an opportunity to become a WTM lead, start your own stuff within the GDG chapter, or get more women to participate in technology. And then the Google Developer Expert, which Soham talked about. If you want to share expertise, that's a great platform. And then finally, we had Launchpad, which is like if you really are good at certain skills and want to mentor and really give back to the community, you have the Launchpad program. That's the 6 flagship programs from the Google Developer Group. Me and the rest of the team are there. If you guys still have the energy and want to keep us engaged, happy to share more information, more knowledge, and see how we can get this going. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so now I'm shifting gears here. So now I'm going to do the role on behalf of the GDD core team, and the boss of the GDD core team was sitting here, right here, Peter Lubers, to thank you all for being such an awesome attendees and audience, and really making it very, very great, very encouraging, very exciting for all of us out here from the GDD India core team to bring this event to you. So I want to thank you all for being an awesome audience. Please give yourself a big round of applause, guys. Thank you.